Minnesota Molten Series from Burnsville, Minnesota. We moved into the third place match between M1 17-1 and Northern Lights 18-1. John Eden, Carl Katzenberger, and our entire CCX media team here with you, and we are already set to go with the start of the first game. Standing back there is Jasmine Wiedemann from Lakeville South, serving it up for the M1 squad.
Yeah, two talented teams that lost close matches. Both matches went to 3. Should be looking forward to another competitive match here.
Ball played up into the air, and this spike, a good one by Mackenzie Close, but given right back, and the shot a little long, got touched along the way. Point to M1, they jump out to a 1-0 lead. How big an advantage for M1 that they got to watch during the last match and Northern Lights was playing?
Well, I mean, there's certainly some advantage, and tongue-in-cheek, I'll say this honestly, I don't know if the kids were doing any scouting. They're almost certainly eating,
sure,
or looking at social media on their phone or something that. But that in itself is an advantage, is being able to rest and
yeah, the fatigue factor was the bigger thought for me. I'm guessing the coaches were keeping an eye on this last matchup. Serve into the net. Northern Lights gets its first point.
Northern Lights 16-1s is playing over on the court next to us. You can't see him, but happy belated birthday to my buddy Andy Gugesberg. He's the head coach of Northern Lights 16-1s. He's maybe not the best coach, but he's the best looking coach. So happy birthday, Andy.
Ball set to the outside. The spike blocked back. Nicely done by M1 as they take a 3-1 advantage.
It's a good job of blocking there. You know, the problem today across the board for blocking has been the pin blocker going too far and not allowing the middle blocker to close.
Ella Wheatcraft from Lakeville North serving. Wolf having trouble getting to it. They nearly saved it with a good second effort from Nelson. However, that falls to the floor in favor of M1, 4-1 advantage.
So if you're the setter there, you ask her if you can get that next ball a little higher. What do you say? Can you get that next one a little higher, please?
She does. Nelson back sets it to the right side. It worked. A spike and kill there from Brownwind Timperley, who will be at Northern Colorado next year.
Pretty strong route there. You know, M1 was late to close, and she had a truck-sized hole there, and she did a really good job of terminating.
Sophia Vogel setting up. Vogel's college of choice interested me as we get this ball towards the front of the net. Hit over nicely by Lauren Link. Coming back, and this one blocked at the side of the net. Is that kicked over?
Yep.
We stay in play. Ball set to the outside, off the blockers, kept alive. Long point here, Close trying to finish it out. Her shot too strong, and a point for M1. They lead 5-2. I was saying about Vogel, she's going to the College of Charleston, where she will play both indoor and outdoor volleyball.
Wow, that's a unique situation.
Because each of those takes a year of eligibility, right? Off.
Yeah, but I'm sure they have it worked out, you know, as their coaching staffs are kind of being cooperative, you know, towards the end product there. So maybe she's a red shirt in one, or, you know, I don't know.
Sure.
They have some kind of plan worked out, but I mean that's certainly a rare situation there where a kid would be that desirable to both indoor and outdoor programs, and hey, she's deserving. She's a really good volleyball player. How
different is the skill set for one versus the other?
It's the difference between like basketball and fishing. I'm kidding, sort of. I mean, the same basic techniques, but the game is so much different. In doubles, you're asked to touch the ball every play, and you can be a little more reliant on your teammates in sixes. And then, you know, with Minnesota being the weather it has, you just don't get an opportunity as a teenager in Minnesota to get the requisite outdoor reps. So
I've heard of a lot of people who will maybe play 4 years of indoor and then use that last year of eligibility on the other side to go play outdoor.
Yeah.
But it seemed odd that she was recruited right away for both, and not sure the details. 6-4 after that last point goes to Northern Lights. They're trying to play catch-up after falling down early.
Miss Volleyball finalist Skylar Gurman from Minnetonka is going to have a rough life. She's going to wake up every day and go play outdoor volleyball at Long Beach State. You know, I think that's going to be a taxing situation. Like, what a dream outcome, you know, if you're a high school kid and you get to go to California and right on the beach and do something you love every day. pretty envious.
Long Beach State. Now, I don't know what all the rest of the teams are called because baseball at Long Beach State has its own nickname, but they're called the Dirtbags, and that's what I always think of when I think of Long Beach State.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, for some reason they have their own nickname compared to the rest of the school. Maybe it's earned. I'm not sure. Ball played up into the air, and Northern Lights gives it over free. Weber up to the front. This one touched, given right back. Schneider kept it alive, and it's given over free by Ellman. Timperley to the front, set up, and the attack by Mixon is pushed back 7-5.
They got blocking issues again for M1, leaving that big hole between the two blockers. It's a really hard thing to do, so I'm not criticizing any of the kids' effort or anything like that. They're down there trying as hard as they can. It's really hard to defend behind a poorly formed block.
Haley Wolf with the ace. We talked about it earlier. She's headed to Drake next year. The libero serving again. This played up by Weber. Move it to the outside. This shot too strong, and with that we are tied at 7. First tie we've had since it was 0s. Northern Lights let ace, and they take the lead for the first time.
Obviously, you know, the closer to the tape you serve, the less reaction time the other team has, and you know, those you'll take all the aces you can get, even if it's a let.
Wolf looking at another really strong serve. It won't come back. 9-7.
So obvious strategy here by Northern Lights is they're not allowing the libero for M1 to play the ball and serve receive, and they're having quite a bit of success with it right now. I don't know, you know, what Doug is talking to him about here, but I would imagine he's empowering the libero, Maddie over there. She's such a good player to be aggressive and play a ball if it's, you know, remotely in her neighborhood. Probably trying to pump up the kids that have struggled a little bit on first contact right now too.
M1 first back onto the floor. They trail by 2 points in this opening set of the third place matchup. Northern Lights, who did not call the timeout, takes their time. And on a nice stretch at the service line is Haley Wolf. She'll do it again. Goes after Weber. This ball set to the front. The spike blocked back. Standing tall is Sophia Vogel.
It's a good read by Northern Lights. M1 runs what we call a drift off the tee there, and that means the middle is hitting just about a body length away from the setter as opposed to a traditional one, which is right on the setter. And they sniffed that out and were able to snuff it out before it even crossed the net.
Weber up to the front. This one touched over by Grimm. Now a set to the back row on the other side. That blasted right at Weber, who gets it up again. Grimm on the attack once more. Link touching it again. And it's pushed over deep. More from Weber. And this spike off the blocker is good for a kill. Finishing off the play is Carissa Ritchie.
At counterattack one, it's one of the most powerful plays in volleyball, and if you can take a ball that's you know, well struck by the other team and run quick offense right back, it's just really hard to recover from that.
Ritchie now serving, floats that one towards the sideline. Tough play for Northern Lights, but they get it back over. This ball back set to the right side. The spike blocked back. The attack by Rachel Schneider, rejected by that strong wall put up by Northern Lights.
They did a good job there of funneling that ball back to the middle, and we've seen some blocking errors earlier where we didn't get our hands and t-shirt and toes and everything pointed back towards the center of the court, and the block is deflected out. Lights did a good job there of funneling it back to the center. Setter
Charlotte Nelson serving, and we weren't quite set, so we're going to redo. There's a conversation at the scorer's table about what's going on.
So Leah's trying to figure out if they got the right server or not for Lights, and the serving table, or sorry, the scoring table is a little confused right now in the serving rotation, and they're trying to figure out if it was indeed the correct server for Lights here. Leah Newbeck, by the way, that's their maiden name. Mm-hmm. She was a fantastic volleyball player. She was another defensive player that you had a game plan for when you were playing Hopkins High School. Yeah, just really steady at that position.
Nelson now does get to serve. Short serve floated over. This one floated over the blockers and finds the floor. M1 gets a needed point. They pull within 2.
That pancake dig is one of the hardest to referee because obviously if you get your hand under the ball and it pops up, keep playing. The trickiest part about it is it is possible for the ball to hit both hand and floor, which in that case, is a terminal play. The ball can't hit the floor no matter what. So
double touch on the Northern Lights side. M1 gets within 1, 10 serving 11. We talked about that with the ball that was played by a foot in our first match today. It'd be possible to hit both, and also unlikely that it would get just one.
Yeah, that was a really funny situation where just a screamer came and it hit the defender perfectly in the foot. You couldn't have taken 100 shots at it and done any better.
12-10 now the score in favor of Northern Lights. They were playing catch-up early, but then overtook M1 and have held on to a small lead since then. Nelson got a piece of that one, played towards the middle, out of the back row. Good attack. Ellman able to get underneath it with the dig, and it is sent down to the floor by Hannah Thompson.
That route's becoming more and more prevalent in club volleyball and high school volleyball. Instead of the middle hitting directly on top of the setter in a traditional one, they've been running, probably a body length away from the setter. And they used to call that a 21 back in the old school, calling it a drift more often now. But as you can see there again for M1, what that does, it causes the left side blocker to peel away instead of going up and doubling the middle. You see the action here, running just that space away from the setter, kind of fools the left side blocker sometimes into peeling.
12 all our score after back-to-back points from M1. They're looking for more, but instead nobody can get to the second touch of Ellman's dig. 13-11 Northern Lights, rather 13-12.
That's too bad. That's actually a pretty good dig considering the heat behind the ball. And yeah, it's just one of those deals where they couldn't recover at the setter position quick enough to make something hittable.
Vogel serving. This ball from the outside, strong attack by Weber, popped into the air. Nelson bump set, and it's hit clean by Link. Set up to the outside for Weber again, and this one sent back off the touch. Northern Lights extends the lead to 14-12.
That's a tough reaction play, and I think Jesuit's height may have worked against her there. That block was probably headed out of bounds, and if you have a shorter player, maybe they would have realized it because they'd actually have to jump to touch it.
Good spike through the block that time by Sophie Jesuits.
That's an instance of Jesuits' height working for her. She's so physical over there, and it's really hard to put up a united block and take away all the shots that she's able to hit.
Chanhassen's Maddie Ellman on the serve. This one bumped up to the outside. The spike good for a kill in the end.
That's that high hand shot we've seen a lot of today. Is you're taking a calculated risk by challenging the block at the very top of the hands. If you miss, it's going to look pretty bad, because you're going to miss badly. But I think your teammates and your coach and the important people spectating know that you're definitely trying to do something positive for the team there, not just missing badly.
Ball bounces off of Wolf, the finisher for M1, gets them back within a point.
There's that drift route again. It's really hard. Most teams want to double block with the left in the middle, and you can see 4 there for Northern Lights. She just gets confused because it's not something that you get a lot of time to read and react to. It's if the play is going off setter, the left side's trained to peel. The instance where they're running a drift would be the one time where you don't want to peel.
Northern Lights back up by 2. Going back for the serve is Lauren Link. Link surveys her options. Ball received cleanly by Wheatcraft. Back set to the right side. Ellman able to dig it out. Set to the middle, spike and kill. Strong attack by Ritchie.
That's a area of growth for Olivia Keppen there. Speaking as your high school coach, she's a tremendous player, and that just finding the middle there and making that route hittable in transition when you don't have a lot of reaction time or time to think about. That's a really good example of growth for her.
Ball played up. This spike nicely cut, and that one finds the floor. 17-15.
Yeah, it's hard to defend against when the gap in the block is that large, and sometimes you just have to basically get lucky that the offensive player hits you in the platform.
The receive by Weber, moved to the front, touched over. Riley gets it up. Rather, that was Timperley. Now a spike from the outside by Riley. Another attack coming. Vogel has it sent backwards. Free ball over to the M1 side. Set to the middle. There's the finishing kill from Carissa Ritchie.
So I want to point something out that Ritchie did really well that play. Is there an overpass coming from N1 to Lights, and Lights took a big swing at it, is the sequence before that, and she didn't give up on the play. She went up and tried to contest that overpass swing, where sometimes players just kind of end up standing around and watching the world pass them by.
Spike through the block by Megan Riley, the junior's kill. Makes it 18-16.
Yeah, the blocking has been, a bugaboo for both teams. Getting that block aligned so you can play proper defense behind it is important.
Ball set to the outside. The spike getting to it was Wolf. Then no one can play it on the second touch. M1 pulls back within a point.
Stretch run here for both teams, and I think any kind of run or 3 or more is going to be really pivotal towards claiming this first game.
Off the serve, received by Wolf, and out of the back row. The attack over to Elman.
And there's that drift route again. Yeah, M1 really taking advantage of that, and Doug is no fool. Like if it's working well, let's just keep running until they stop it.
Nice job by Thompson from Chaska to execute. Here Nelson back set, right side attack by Riley, dug out by M1. They'll give it over by Jesowitz. Another back set to the right side, this time close on the attack. It's sent back on the block, and a free ball to M1. Set it over for Grimm, and Grimm had to come back to her. Off the block, 19-18, the lead for Northern Lights. We just have been so close in the scoring throughout the entire first game here.
Yeah, it's been kind of a contrast because we've had some lopsided games and tight matches, if that makes sense. Yeah, this has been a back and forth affair.
Even with all that, we've only had 3 ties as this ball.
So there's Northern Lights trying to run the drift route, and they get the desired effect. The left front blocker peels. Unfortunately, they just missed the open court there.
So that miss puts them behind 2019, the lead with M1 at this point. This is our 3rd place match of this Minnesota Molten series. It's the 3rd in the series. And so far in the bracket, we've watched the 2 semifinal games here on CCX. This is the 3rd place, and we'll have the Northern Lights 17-1 against Minnesota Select 18-1 championship afterwards.
Yeah, this is almost certainly, a day to showcase the top teams, the top clubs, and the top players in Minnesota. And I think everybody that is coaching or as a parent or a player in Minnesota volleyball right now needs to really understand that the level of play here is tremendous, and that's due to people, investing their time and resources into volleyball.
Spike blocked back by Northern Lights. M1 sets it up again. Spike nicely done on the spin there as Megan Riley gets the kill. Or excuse me, that was Rachel Weber.
The tape was her friend on this one. It actually skips the tape and puts it into a near impossible area of the court to defend.
Tough receive. Ball moved towards the front of the net. Forced down. And that's a 4th touch.
Yeah, Jesowitz is so long there, and that extreme angle she's able to block the ball down toward. It's pretty impressive.
As we get a timeout, and it's a 22-19 lead for M1. You were talking about the quality of volleyball. This is the 2nd Minnesota Molten series that we've covered here at CCX. It's been almost entirely Minnesota teams, but I see on the schedule for these squads that they are going to other states. They are probably playing a more diverse set of competition. How often do we have teams from out of state coming here to Minnesota to bring that competition?
So they started a new tournament last year, and it's jointly run by Northern Lights and Milwaukee Sting, and it's called the Stars and Stripes. And so each year the venue will switch between Milwaukee and Minnesota, and that's one new way. But some of the best ways for these kids to get exposure, to college recruiters, either regionally that wouldn't necessarily come to Minneapolis, is to go play tournaments in different parts of the country. And each of these teams we've seen play today has played, probably averaging 4 to 5 to 6 out-of-town tournaments a year with their club, and I would expect that both of these club teams would do the same. Northern Lights actually took some teams over to, I think it was Denmark earlier this season. That's a really extensive, travel trip for high school sophomores. Abby Stanwood, one of the outsides for the Minnetonka varsity, went over there, and she had a blast. And I just think that travel for this level of volleyball and kids that are aspiring to play volleyball beyond college it's a good thing. It's a way to get exposure to coaches that you wouldn't normally else be able to.
When you look at the players that we have on the court right now, those that have committed, and most of those are on the 18-1 side with Northern Lights, the spread of states is really impressive. I mean, yes, there are a couple here in the state of Minnesota, but for the most part, it's all over the country where these young ladies are going to head to next year. Yeah,
and I would say that travel is actually part of the allure to kids. That they love those trips. I mean, it's a chance to get out of Minnesota, especially during the winter. They go down to Atlanta and other places that are in the South, and get away a little bit. And then also you're going to remember wins and losses, but not as much as you're going to remember the good times you had with your teammates, and the funny things that happened, and the long bus rides and things like that. So from that standpoint, really important part of their experience as a player.
We are tied at 22 apiece. And we get a break in the action once again. So again, this is the first set and has been extremely tight all the way. This is the tightest set of any match, I think, that we've had so far, outside of the third ones that have gotten a little tighter. I think it also speaks to one of the things that I've heard more and more as the internet becomes as ubiquitous as it has, is they'll find you. The scouts will find you. The assistant coaches from college programs are going to be out there. They'll find you. So you can travel to be exposed more, but everyone has a huddle for football. They have it for volleyball. I mean, there's video for everyone out there, and it helps everyone get the exposure that they should have in order to be recruited.
Yeah, technology is super helpful. I would say, as a coach, I would actually want to see that player play live if I liked him on tape. But yeah, the technology's been very helpful in that avenue.
This ball dug out nicely, set up by Northern Lights to the outside. Good spike there by Link, kept alive. Tough play coming up, and putting it over is Jesuits. So we continue on. This shot blocked by Jesuits, but out of bounds. Point to Northern Lights.
Yeah, and that's just Jesuits not getting her hands and T-shirt faced back to zone 6. She had a remarkable play in that sequence earlier. I think she's the only player on the court that could have saved that ball set past the pin like that. That was a tremendous effort by Sophie.
This ball just out of bounds on the serve, so we trade points, and we're tied again, 23-all.
It's not a great time to miss a serve. I mean, it's never really a great time to miss a serve, but in that situation, you want to keep the pressure on the other team by forcing them to play defense.
Played up by Lauren Link, back set by Nelson, and this spike dug out nicely. On the attack, a little bit of a float on that one. Nelson gets to it. Wolf bump set to the outside, and the spike goes wide for Link. Gives us game point for M1.
So M1 wants to skip the middle here and run a quick ball to the outside if they're in system, and we'll see if Jesuits in the middle can get things closed up over there.
Elman serving, played up into the air by Link. Bump towards the front. Link gives it over free. This should allow them some system. Ball to the middle. The spike blocked back on the solo attempt by Mixon. This one played into the air. Set towards the right side. A spike. Good for a kill.
Setter for Northern Lights did a good job of mixing up the offense there. Tried the middle a couple times, and then they finally reversed the ball, and a really good overline shot by the right side.
25 points not going to be enough here in our first game of this third place match. Mackenzie Close, who just had the kill, on the serve now. Spike down the line, and that one was touched before it went out of bounds. Point to M1. Match point for them again, or rather set point.
Good aggressive swing there on the outside, and at the end of the game, sometimes it's easy to get timid and hit shots, and I think that we would encourage players to go for it. Let's see your best volleyball, at the end.
There's an ace to end it. 26-24, M1 victorious in the first set. We'll pause. When we come back, we move to the second here on CCX.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
26-24, M1 pulled it out in the first set. Now we move to the second. M1 on the near side, Northern Lights on the far. And serving it up to start is Charlotte Nelson, who will play at UW Stout next year. The receive comes right back over, and Nelson pops it into the air. Then Wolf bumps set, and it's spiked over clean. Dig was clean as well, but this one rocks into the antenna, and with that, Northern Lights jumps out to a 1-0 lead.
I think it's another testament to the depth and the quality of play. Is you would think that extra year from junior year to senior year would be a big difference maker when we had 17s playing 18s in here. I just think that both teams have such talent that extra year is kind of minimized.
I agree. I mean, we saw how competitive that first set was. I thought that based on what I saw from the two 18 ones playing each other in the semifinals, I thought those teams looked stronger. But you get them into this matchup, and suddenly things look fair against a good 17-1 squad. Ready on the serve is Megan Riley. She's the one junior on the 18-1 squad for Northern Lights. Received by Weber. And Northern Lights picks up another point, 3-1.
That's the nightmare for a setter, is when you get a serve receive error that goes to the left front like that. She's coming all the way across the pattern, and it makes it really hard for her to do anything positive with it.
Ball set to the outside. This spike found the floor.
Yeah, it's that over line shot, and kids are, almost universally developing that to have in their toolbox if they're hitting on the outside.
Ella Wheatcraft serving. Here, hard spike from the middle. Wheatcraft gets the shot from Jensen up in the air, and we play on. Here, spike blocked back onto the M1 side. They get it to the right side. Another block shutting down that opportunity. And the Lauren Link, Sophia Vogel tandem blocking that back.
Good block by Lights there. As the blocking and the ball handling have gone almost all day, the teams have gone.
Sophia Vogel, then Elman receives, ball to the middle, and that one looking for a blocker to touch. It didn't happen. It sails out of bounds. 5-2 Northern Lights.
Yeah, intentional shot again, high hands. Unfortunately, like I said, when you miss that shot, the error is going to be magnified.
Tough second touch there. Long run for Wiedemann to get under it. Now much easier play on the set, but the attack goes too long. And again, they're asking for a touch on that. There was none, and it's a 6-2 Northern Lights lead.
Yeah, Wiedemann did a good job of tracking that one down to the left front. Again, that's the nightmare for the setter. Fortunately, she wasn't buried all the way into zone one like she was in the earlier rotation. She just had to come from the right front. I don't think that ball was touched. Instant replay is one of those things where, I see the benefits of it, and they've attempted to do it the college game. And you know what? Fair is fair, and if we can get calls right The thing for me watching college volleyball is the technology with the camera rate hasn't gotten to where the replay is obvious. Like, you know, and this is good equipment we're working with here at CCX too, but you just can't get a definitive, you know, assessment because the frame rate isn't fast enough.
Receive played up by Weber. It comes back to her on the outside. Spike dug out on the other end by Timperley. Timperley has to play it over free. Wheatcraft digs, back set right side. Spike blocked back. That one caught underneath.
Yeah, it's that waterfall blocking effect again. And the blocker doesn't get her hands across the net, and it's almost a guaranteed point for the offense every time.
Maddie Ellman serving it to Link, who receives. Nelson back sets this one, and the spike too strong from Emmy Jensen.
Right side attack for both teams has been effective at times, and both setters have done a good job of mixing the offense up and kind of being a little bit unpredictable with which hitter they want to hit the ball.
Ellman had to track down that ball. Now she's ready to go. And bumped over free. M1 gives it to the right side. The spike blocked back. Leading the charge that time was Lauren Link.
And there's the difference there. It's a really well-formed block, meaning the left side hitter did not go too far to the pin, which allowed the middle to close. More importantly, they got their hands across the net to stop the ball from even crossing.
Ball to the middle, and a kill to finish it, Carissa Ritchie. So M1 back within 2 as you look at Ritchie working from the middle.
Yeah, good shot, and you know, they're smiling a little bit because there was a little bit of a mishit on the ball, but they will gladly take the point in a tight game like this.
Olivia Keppen in for the serve. Ball to the middle, and that one hit the tape but finds the other side, and with that it's an 8-5 Northern Lights lead.
It's so hard when the ball hits a tape like that, and it's really unpredictable where the ricochet is going to go.
Lauren Link. Her serve played up by Wheatcraft, moved to the front. Here the spike blocked back on the attempt by Ritchie, kept alive. Now a hard hit from Weber, and that one does get over free. Quick play on the dump. They didn't get the pancake in there.
Oh, wow. Quick whistle by Mike. He might have seen something from his angle that we didn't. It is possible for the ball to hit the floor and the hand, and this will give us a decent look.
That looked like all hand.
Looks pretty clean for me, but again, my opinion doesn't count. It's Mike's opinion that matters. So
Weber on the serve. Cahill bump set. That one caught some tape and was probably better for it. Lauren Link gets the kill.
That's what we call the ball doesn't lie. A little good luck there, followed by some perhaps bad luck on the previous play.
Wolf serves it at Weber, who plays it up. This spike off the blocker and out. Good kill there from Rachel Schneider.
Yeah, strong swing. And anytime you're challenging one blocker like that, the late close gives you a certain advantage, you know, offense to defense.
Set to the middle, a little hesitation in the air, and then she touches it softly over the blockers. 10-7 Northern Lights.
There's another area of growth for Olivia Keppen there is defending that right back position to the best of her ability. She's a super athlete, and you know she can take the opportunity to go play. She knows it. She can take the opportunity to go defend there as the first priority and set as the second priority.
Keppen plays this up to the outside. Right side attack coming back. Good strong hits, but each side has been able to play it up. Now a free ball over to M1. He'll set it to the right, and the block is there, shutting that opportunity down. Sophia Vogel.
Olivia did a good job of handling the tight ball there too. That's another area of growth for her as she kind of progresses. She showed a really strong touch and staying out of the net and being able to feed the middle on the previous rally.
Another point for Northern Lights. They take a 12-7 advantage. That's the largest lead for either team in this set.
This is a weird phenomenon. I don't know if I've ever called a game where I've had multiple Minnetonka players on the court, and you get caught up with, you don't want to be overly critical because they're great kids, and you want to, as a coach, first and foremost be positive. But then sometimes the match coach in you comes out, and you'll point to things that I wish that would have been done better. So if you're listening and you're a Minnetonka student, forgive me. Yeah, I'll buy you a sucker from the booster store next time I see it.
Here's Jasmine Wiedemann serving. This ball off the blockers and down to the floor. It's a 13-8 lead for Northern Lights.
It's kind of a crafty shot. That ball is set so far inside, and the right side hitter is able to turn it back down line.
Riley's serve received by Weaver. That ball bounces out of bounds off of the blockers.
So we call that floating, when the pin blocker jumps and doesn't jump straight up and down. They're jumping while still moving to their right. And obviously if the ball hits you while you're still moving, the deflect angle is almost certainly going to be to the right, which spelled doom for Lights on that previous rally.
Robbinsdale Armstrong, Sophia Vogel finishing off the play with that kill, 14-9. Now the score. Northern Lights trying to force a third set. Off the receive, ball back set right side. This spike carries heavy, and then swinging at it again is Sophia Jesowitz.
It's great singing by Sophie. She hasn't had a lot of in-system opportunity today that we've seen, but it'll show you how dangerous of a hitter she is if you get that ball in her window.
Ellman goes after her counterpart. Wolf receives the serve. This ball spiked off the blockers and down to the floor. Back on the M1 side. Point to Northern Lights, who leads by 5.
Super athletic play by the setter there for Lights. She's a back row player, and it's all she could do is get one hand on the ball and get that ball to the 31. And really, really strong play there.
Point for M1. They'll get the serve back. Got this as the third place. We still have the championship to go here from Burnsville. Chat with the scorers table once again. And we're good for substitutions. .11 serving 15. That ball came off the side of the hand, it looked like, for Megan Riley.
That's a good job of tracking that ball all the way to the line. As a coach, you always want your players to follow a ball until they're absolutely sure it's out of bounds, and really good fundamentals shown there by the libero.
I think we're missing a point. That's why the coach is standing up. There it is, 15-12, now 16-12.
Yeah, they'll get it squared away.
Yep, 16-12 looks good. Serve into the net. Back within 3 is M1.
Maybe somebody can put together a service run here. M1's got one of their better rotations coming up here after they side out the next time, and let's see if they can string 3 or 4 together.
Rachel Weber on the serve. Timperley plays it to the front. Now a set for the outside. The spike blocked out of bounds. A kill for Northern Lights' Megan Riley.
Yeah, and younger players or aspiring players, if you're closing the block, it is imperative that you get your hands and shirt and toes pointed back toward the center court, zone 6.
Off the receive by Weber overhead. Now a spike from the outside. That finishes as a kill. Emma Grimm. Grimm, I feel like a name we called out a lot during our first match earlier in the semifinal round, has been quieter here. This strike too strong from Riley, out of bounds, and it's 17-15.
Yeah, she was really effective in that first match we watched her play, and yeah, maybe she's got a little bit of a spurt left in her for this match.
Ritchie on the serve, backpedaling for the set, and it's spiked over clean. Outside attack, off the blockers, right back to the front, and a quick touch to push it over. Nicely done that time by Courtney Cahill.
So I don't know if Cahill is coached there, but one of the few times that you do want your setter to dump like that standing on the ground is when the libero for the opposition is off the court. That was a great time setter dump there, and yeah, I feel like that's a really good show of the setter's awareness. Libero's off the court, middle blockers on, and not used to defending that left back position. Sneak a dump in there to great deal of success.
Are different setters just given the green light by their coaches going in? Is an adjustment made throughout, seeing something as the play goes on? I mean, they're the ones who make that decision.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. At this level, we almost never want the setter to go over on two, especially if it's not aggressive. You know, if you've got a Sydney Hilly up there in the front row, you know, that's one thing. But if you've got a setter standing on the ground and you know, essentially just setting the ball to the opponent, we would almost certainly rather set a hitter, you know, in that instance.
Ball punched over here by Jesowitz, coming back the other way. Good strong spike played into the air, stayed out of the rafters. They got a second touch on it, but won't find any more. 20-16, the lead for Northern Lights.
It's a tough dig when you're trying to play chase down like this. Good job of getting a touch on the ball by the libero. Yeah, that's a training thing. That's a discipline thing, though, too. Is even in an unlikely situation, you know, she's showing her teammates that she's going to give max effort, and it's infectious. You know, if one player is going to give max effort, even in a situation that might be a lost cause like that, it's a really good thing. It's leading by example there.
M1 could use whatever kind of boost is out there. Right now, they're in danger of being forced in to a third set. There is still time to come back, but no reason to wait. Begin the push now. Two sides return to the court for Northern Lights. Serving is Megan Riley. Riley puts it in right in front of Maddie Ellman. She misread that ball.
Yeah, it's one of those seam serves where they didn't pre-communicate who's going to take the ball on the seam, and both players, yeah, kind of were expecting the other one to do the heavy lifting.
Ball given to the outside, spike off the blocker and down to the floor. M1 back on the board.
Obviously, Sophie Jesowitz is going to look a little bit more comfortable hitting on the left side there, and that serve-receive pattern allowed her to hit on her natural side and did a good job of firing one in their line.
Served by Grimm, coming back, strong swing and a kill for Lauren Link.
That's a really good swing, and it's a really good area of the court to attack, deep five.
Got up quick, didn't look like the block was there. Now serving Sophia Vogel. That one is just a bit long. Well read that time by M1. They get a point back.
All right, this is one of M1's better rotations, and let's see if they can put together a service run here.
Maddie Ellman on that serve. Wolf gets it up in the air. Nelson towards the front, and it's played over. Grimm set up by Wiedemann, and the spike won't come back. Nicely done by M1.
Good transition offense there. It is so hard playing middle to block, land, transition, and hit with authority. And that was really well done there. Good connection from setter to hitter also.
Ellman puts it into the net. 23-19.
That's a situation where you know, you want to be understanding of a player making mistakes. You'd much rather have that mistake be out deep than into the net.
Emmy Jensen's serve received by Weber. Played to the front. Weber with the kill.
It's a really good shot by Weber, and kind of going back to an earlier point, you know, Weber's been kind of crafty with the way she's hit today, and that's one of the few balls she's scored on that's actually hit the floor. She's done a good job of using the block and finding seams and things like that.
Wolf gets it to the front, and Link hits it over. Coming back, the touch by Weber evades the defense, and within 2 is M1.
So imagine the serving strategy here is Jesuits to start on the right side and serve cross court to the left side, taking the ball out of Libero's hands and forcing the setter to run all the way across the pattern.
It was the plan. Unfortunately, it comes up short going into the net, and that sets up set point for Northern Lights.
Sounds so easy, doesn't it?
I mean, I could see why she was going soft. If there was nobody up there, it would have been a tough play. This touched. Nearly found the sideline. Instead, it was pushed back to the middle and still dips down to the floor, so point to M1.
All right, M1's got to score 2 in a row here. One at a time, though, so we can get them in trouble by serving zone 1. That'd be a good start.
Rachel Weber plays it. Now touched around the block. Diving play to get back on it. M1 can't get it up from there. 25-22 the victory for Northern Lights. They force a third set, and we'll go to that deciding set when we return here on CCX. They split the first 2. Now do we go to the finale in the third place match. Playing to 15 between Northern Lights 18-1 and M1 17-1. M1 with the serve to start. This is Jasmine Wiedemann. Set up by Nelson. Good hard spike. That's dug out by Elman. Push right back over. And a free ball over to M1. Wiedemann sets the middle. The spike blocked back. Nicely done up there was Elman in short space to get it up. Then a lift is called against M1. Northern Lights opens with the point.
I think ball control is going to play a key role in this one. Communication is also going to play a key role in this one.
Megan Riley with an ace.
That's a tall order to ace the libero for M1 there. Is one of those float serves that looks like it's going a little deeper than it actually is.
Riley ready again. She'll try something similar. Back to back. Got aces up her sleeve. 3-0. Now the lead for Northern Lights.
Yeah, the old trickle job. As you can see the smiles and her put her hand over her face, almost embarrassingly registering the ace there.
Still a strong start at the service line for her. The shot blocked back there, and it's given over free. Wolf gets under that. Nelson back set, right side attack, too strong, and with that, M1's on the board, trailing 3-1. Jumping out to a 3-0 start like that in a set that only goes to 15 points, likely boding well for Northern Lights. M1's Ella Wheatcraft on the serve. Ellie Wolf gets it to the front. This spike dug out by Wheatcraft. Attack from the right side. Weber hits it over clean. Outside attack coming back, and that one misses the back corner.
Well, that's too bad. I'd like to have that one back if you're Northern Lights. They were in system, had a one-on-one on the outside, and I just feel like the outside got a little bit of the contact on her outside hand more than she would have liked.
Wheatcraft on the serve again, then the spike comes back, and a kill from Sophia Vogel.
Great job of elevating by Vogel. She's impressive athletically over there, and she certainly had a really good approach and was able to hit at a very extreme angle on that last shot.
This is Sophia Vogel. Madison Elman now played to the front. That one into the net, and so point for Northern Lights as they get back out to a 3-point advantage. It ties for their best mark here in this third set. We are finishing out this third place match, and then we will move into our championship. Of course, you can follow us to see when we'll next be at club volleyball or the large swath of high school coverage that's available out there. Plenty of basketball coming up, and you can see the schedule at ccxmedia.org.
You guys televise any pie eating contests or anything like that?
If we don't, we should.
Yeah. I would do color for that.
All right. Well, I'd want to participate, so I feel like that would be odd. Here, the shot goes wide. It's hard to think of pie eating contest and not think about the movie Stand By Me.
Yeah.
That would not be good television. Or it'd be great television, I'm not sure. 5-3. I think a lot of people would want to watch it. I would not be one of them.
Wow, that was an athletic approach there.
Really strong swing. It goes off the blockers and out of bounds. That makes it a 6-3 lead for Northern Lights.
Such a difficult thing to do when that ball is high and behind you like that, is to get enough on it to use the block.
Emmy Jensen on the serve. Comes right back to her. She gets a hand on it. No one else can play it. And M1.
All teams featuring that drifter out today, just doing a good job of getting what they want, a one-on-one situation. And even though the middle's approach wasn't perfect, still got enough on it to force a kill. It's been a super effective route for all the teams participating today.
On the serve, this is Olivia Kempen. Out of Minnetonka, won 26 games this year. Carl probably knows that.
Despite the coaching, won 26 games this year.
Ball played to the middle. Does it make you cringe when I mistakenly say game instead of match?
No, okay. I say it all the time too.
Ball set to the outside, and this one through the blockers for a kill. Northern Lights back in front by 3. So next year, Kempen will be back on that Minnetonka squad. Here shot just stays inbounds. Point to Northern Lights.
Yeah, we're looking for a big improvement from Olivia, and she's already shown great strides during the season. One more year of improvement throughout the club schedule, and we're really looking forward to her being a big part of our success again in 2020.
Teams have traded sides of the floor, so Northern Lights now on the near side. They lead 8-4. M1 on the far side awaiting the serve from Lauren Link. Link headed to Loyola University in Maryland next year. Off this serve, carries high into the air from the receive. Then back over to Northern Lights side. They set the middle. That shot by Mixon pushed back. Back row attack from Lauren Link. Elman with the bump set towards the front. A good one. Nice dig by Wolf to get down on that. And this shot hits softly over where it's played up by Weber. Here, shot off the blockers, and it's down for a point. M1 pulls within 3.
There's that drifter out again, and unless that's communicated beforehand, and we're big sticklers about this during high school season, if you don't communicate who's going to take that responsibility beforehand, there's no way you're going to play it well in real time.
5 serving 8. Ball set to the outside. Nice block. Standing up there was Carissa Ritchie. She had help, but it came into her.
Tremendous block, all parts. You're right. The right side setting the block in a great place. She stopped and went straight up and down as opposed to floating, and that allowed the middle to come over and make a play.
Served by M1. Here set by Cahill, and it's touched over by Lauren Link. Ball set, attack from the outside. Now nearly given back. Rough play, and they'll reset. And spike up at the front, blocked by M1. Now just 1 point separating M1 from Northern Lights.
Little spurt here from M1, and we get a substitution at the setter position for Northern Lights here.
Back set, right side. This spike rejected. Leading the charge that time was Emma Grimm, and we are knotted at 8.
Great read. You know, good blocking is going to be so valuable to your defense, and you know, I think the whole day blocking and ball handling has been the key to success.
This ball out of bounds, and M1 really coming on strong here.
And that's such a killer, and you want to be really understanding mistakes. You play volleyball, you're going to make mistakes. This is a good effort by the libero. You're really hoping that when you do make a mistake, though, it's not a fatal one, meaning that you don't give your teammates an opportunity to kind of help the situation out. You know, volleyball is such a momentum game right now, and M1's had a 4-point service run right now.
5 points now. Yeah. Well, yeah, 4 on the serve.
And I just think that the momentum is either going to continue or it's going to get broken, and there's not really any middle ground. Either M1's going to continue to roll and take a wide margin victory here in third game, or Lights is going to fight back and we're going to go down to the wire.
Even with the big run, all that's done is tie it up, basically. I mean, we're within 1 at this point. Northern Lights coming from the back row. That attack got in between 2 defenders, and neither one could come up with it. Lauren Link's kill makes it 9-9.
It's a good response out of that timeout. Get an aggressive attack. That's exactly what Northern Lights needed.
Wolf's serve played up by Weber. Now set to the middle. Spike dug out by Wolf on the hard hit from Ritchie. Attack from the outside, and there's a clean kill for Megan Riley.
That's a tremendous set and tremendous route. They beat the block combination with speed there, and both the outside and the setter had to be on the perfect same page for that to happen.
Wolf on the serve. Weber plays it up. Ball given to the outside. Hard hit by Grimm, but recovering is Northern Lights. And they have their shot blocked back. Wolf bumps it up. Attack goes over the antenna. That's out of bounds.
Yeah, when the ball travels over the top of the antenna like that's a violation. And actually, the line judge did a tremendous job there. Yep. Credit to Lily Emlong for being on the stick.
On the serve is Carissa Ritchie. 10 serving 10. Nelson sets the outside. They keep going to Riley. This ball to the outside coming back. Wolf with the beauty of a dig. Trying to touch it through on the second play, and Charlotte Nelson gets herself the kill.
I'd sure like to see M1 challenge somebody besides Wolf in that cross court, and they've had a lot of shots aggressively to that side of the court, and Wolf has answered the call almost every time. See if they maybe change strategy and start hitting down the line a little bit more.
Ball given to the outside. Getting down on it is Nelson. Wolf with the bump set to the right side. The spike popped off the block on Jensen's attack, and it falls to the floor. A 12-10 lead for Northern Lights.
Momentum game. Let's see if M1 can stop the momentum here. We have a substitution, and they're going to change the serve-receive pattern. So we're going to have a different person setting the volleyball out of this rotation than Olivia Keppen.
Charlotte Nelson serves it up. This ball given in the middle. Off the blockers. Wolf recovers on it. Then Nelson gets it over, and it's given free by Weber. Ball to the outside. The spike out of bounds. Now they're saying there's a touch. Emlong on that near side signaled the touch on that play, and that'll give the point to M1 and pull us back to a 1-point set.
I'll be honest with you, if Lily Emlong is paying attention as well as she is, like I wouldn't question that call. Again, that's a tough one due to frame rate to get a consequential, perfect view of it. But Lily has proven that she's doing a good job refereeing this game so far, and so be really easy to trust her call on that one. Northern
Lights doesn't let it get to them. They take the very next point, and they're back up by 2. Now, our first set was 126-24, second set 25-22, so 2 or 3 points has been the separation between these two teams at the end of the first 2 sets, and we're in that same situation very likely here in the third.
Yeah, let's see what M1 does out of the timeout here. My feeling is if they're in system, they're going to try to run a combination play where the middle is running on setter, and they're going to skip the middle and go to the outside. Would really like to see them hit the ball down the line and challenge somebody on defense besides Wolf, playing left back defense. It looks like Jesuits is the person hitting on the pin outside here. So see if they're in system, if they can skip the middle and get the ball to Jesuits.
Off the serve, Weber able to get it up in the air. Now a spike tips off the fingers, and that finds the floor as the blockers couldn't shut it down. Then Wolf behind it had it come up in front of her.
It's the advantage of Sophie Jesuits being so long. She took an average situation there and turned it into pure gold by basically just out jumping, out talling, the block for Northern Lights.
Jesuits at 6'4", has that height. This shot long, and we're tied at 13. I was scanning the rosters to see if anyone was taller in this individual matchup, and I realized that I had Haley Wolf at 6'5" instead of 5'5". Not a lot of liberos at 6'5".
Right. Might be the angle we're looking at too,
Ball given to the outside.
There it is.
And that one. M1 getting that off of the hands down the line. They take the lead and are looking at match point.
Great adjustment by M1 there, sending that ball down line. They've challenged Wolf a ton this game, and she's answered the call. And certainly switching up your offensive attack proved successful.
Nice job by Elman to get it in the air, but then no one could play it afterwards. And with that, we are tied at 14.
Yeah, Lights did a good job of stemming that run by M1, and here we are going down to the wire again.
Sophia Vogel on the serve. Elman plays it up. This ball set to the outside. Spike. Riley kicks it up into the air. Now a spike from the outside by Lauren Link. Comes right back over. They'll give it to Link again. This time she goes soft and pushes it into the back corner.
Yeah, that's the hard part about playing behind a blocker the size of Jesuits is the right back kind of gets obscured here and doesn't see the ball until it's too late. That's one of the weird idiosyncrasies of volleyball is you'd love a tall right side blocker. Some instances it works against you.
Ball given to the outside. This spike hit the tape and then finds the floor. We're tied at 15.
That's the play that M1 likes to run out of serve receive is get in system. Draw with the middle, and then get the ball to the outside on a timing route.
We've been tied at 15, 13, and 14. Shot from the right side, bounces right back over. Big hit, popped into the air. M1 keeping it alive, and they'll give it over free. Wolf to the front. Nelson sets the outside. This spike finds the floor off the blockers. Nicely done by Lauren Link.
That's an instance there where Link isn't trying to hit the floor with the ball. She's trying to challenge the middle blocker and did a really good job of using the block.
16 serving 15. This is match point, and this shot goes long. Was it touched? It was not. Victory to Northern Lights, 17-15. They take the third place match. That leaves us with just the championship to go today. We'll have that momentarily. I want to thank you all for tuning in to this one. For our entire CCX media crew, including my broadcast partner Carl Katzenberg, I'm John Haddon saying so long from a third place victory for Northern Lights, 18-1.